Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for our level 55 fishing. Our minion for the day is going to be the tight-beaked parrot from Sastasha Hard. Hello there, Anselm. What do you got for us today? Anselm is on the lookout for a suitable substitute. Morning, Satora. You're just the person I wanted to see. I'm sorry for foisting this on you without any warning, but can I ask a favor of you? You remember that girl, Reina, the one who you beat in the fishing contest? Well, she sent me a message saying she needs an experienced angler to come and fish her out of a spot of hot water. She's been trying her hand at a little chocobo hunting over in Dravania. She didn't go into the details, but it seems some problems cropped up that only a master fisherman can solve. I'd go and lend her a hand myself, but I've got some business of my own to attend to that's going to keep me in the city for the foreseeable future. Sorry to drop it in your lap like this, but would you mind heading over in my place and see what's going on? The chocobo hunters work out of an outpost in the Dravanian Forelands, Tailfeather they call it. Thanks for taking care of this for me, Satora, and pass on my best wishes to Reina, won't you? Alright, sure, I can help out. Curious what hunting issue a fisher can help deal with. Maybe baits? Well, let's go see what's up. Reina, how is it going? Finally, you made it. Thanks for coming, Satora. Hold on, where's Anselm? Isn't he with you? No, he sent me on my own. Didn't think he was up to the challenge, eh? Well, at least he had the good sense to send along a suitable replacement. You're thrice the fisherman that great Galoot is, and it's angling talents I need to get us out of this mess. For the past few years, I've been coming here to Tailfeather for the start of the hunting season. It's dangerous work, but it has its rewards. Why, just a couple of weeks of chocobo hunting can keep a girl in balloon bugs for the rest of the year. And after a long day's hard work, there's nothing I like better than to head to the riverbank and catch a few carp for the hunter's supper. The problem is, someone's let a school of carnivorous catfish loose in the river and they're running riot. At this rate, they'll have gobbled up every fish in the river before the season's out. I've convinced the hunters to try to catch these monsters before it's too late, but they've had no luck so far. It's no surprise, really. Half of them don't even know which bit of the tackle to throw in the water. That's where you come in. I need you to help me catch a few of these whiskery invaders and show those hunters how it's done. What do you say, Satora? Okay, this is making a lot more sense now. If my master plan works, it's not only the future of our fish suppers that'll be saved for posterity, but the chocobo hunt itself. After all, you can't catch chocobos on an empty stomach, isn't that right, Stenny boy? Looks like Stenny's away with the fairies again. I'd better stay here and keep an eye on him. We wouldn't want him doddering off into the Wylam and giving those nasty catfish something meatier to wrap their teeth around. Do you think you could put my plan into practice yourself? The hunters I sent to catch the catfish should still be upstream somewhere. Just follow the river to the north and you're sure to bump into them sooner or later. They might not have caught any of those pesky pescatarians yet, but like as not they'll know where to find them. Best of luck keeping an eye on Sten. None of the chocobo hunters around here are anglers, but every one of them can track an animal even underwater. Just follow the Wylam up north and you'll soon bump into them. They'll be able to tell you where those horrible fish are hiding. Alright, let's get moving. Let's go see where we can find these catfish. I assume they're going to be Wylam catfish. Have we caught any? I don't think we have. Which is probably going to mean that they're on some sort of time or weather restriction, which could be a problem for us. Hopefully I'm mistaken about that. There's a lot of fish around here we haven't caught yet, actually. Alright, there we are. Hello there, Tailfeather Hunter. What info do you have for me? Well, I'll be if it ain't that fish Reina's been going on about. The absolute apex of angling or what have you. If you're half as good as she claims, we'll have these horrors sorted out in no time flat. These shadow whiskers are eating us out of house and home. They ain't natives to this area, see? Some lunk-headed hunter decided to bring them in special when no one was looking, and set them free in the river. And do you know why he did it? To make the chocobos think twice about crossing the river so the lazy beggar didn't have to hunt so far. As if some fish is gonna scare a 10-foam racing bird. These Shadow Whiskers have put the fear of the gods into all the other river dwellers, though. The fish would have been here all along, just ain't quick enough to escape them, so the monsters are having a field day. Proper gorging themselves like. We've tried all we can to fish them out, but the slippery beggars just won't take the bait. They head downriver to hunt, but most of them are holed up around here in the basin of the 100 throws. It's the big ones in the best nick that are the most trouble. If you could show us how to go about catching them, we'll take care of the rest. I reckon 3 big ones should be enough to teach us the knack. The fish themselves you can give to Reyna. I'm sure she'll find some use for them. Okay, Shadow Whiskers. Ooh. I don't actually recall what these things want. So let me go ahead and double check my notes, and then we'll go catching some Shadow Whiskers. Alright, so it looks like the fish we are looking for are big fans of blue claw shrimp, and blue claw shrimp are big fans of purseweb spiders and stonefly nymphs. So let's get fishing with that. Use patience so we can get some big ones so we can reel them in for mooching. And we just need to catch 3. Alright, caught ourselves a blue claw shrimp, nice and easy. Cast it out with a mooch, and we should be almost guaranteed, I believe, to catch the one we're looking for. If you have access to the brute leech bait, which I don't believe we do yet, that is also pretty good as it directly catches the Shadow Whiskers, with a pretty high success rate it looks like from my notes. Alright, caught ourselves a Shadow Whisker. I'll go ahead and catch the other 3 and then we'll be good to go. Caught ourselves a grass carp, which is new. Let's see, what are the notes on the grass carp? Looks like it has weather restrictions. What's the current weather? Dust storms. Got it. We can probably assume that they only appear during dust storms. Caught ourselves a Wylam catfish. Also, update on the grass carp. Grass carp can be caught during dust storms, fog, or clouds. As for the Wylam catfish, looks like it can be caught during the same weathers, dust storm, fog, or clouds. And very clearly a fan of the stonefly nymph, as that's what we're catching it with. That's not what I was looking for. I caught myself a Papira Pira. Okay, well, the Papira Pira came from mooching a blue claw shrimp, so I guess that's the requirements on that one. Let me see. Are there any time requirements? Yes. Dust storms or fog or clouds. Wow, I just picked the worst time to do this, huh? All the weather-dependent fish are out and in the way. There we go, finally caught the last Shadow Whisker. I have been here for like 20 minutes. I picked the worst time to do this. Thank you, weatherfish. On the one hand, good that they're very common during the weather they are dependent on, because being dependent on weather is already an annoyance. On the other hand, wow, does it suck when you just happen to get the wrong weather and they all spawn and override the fish you're looking for. I had to do a pattern of surface slap when I caught the grass carp, then patience, then cast, pull in on 1 exclamation mark so I can get the blue claw shrimp, then mooch that and hope that it wasn't taken by a Papira Pira. But it only took like 20 minutes, so it wasn't the worst, it was just more annoying than I wish it was. Alright, let's go make the delivery back to Reina. Now that the fishermen know how to fish up the fish, so they can thin those numbers. How's the Shadow Whisker hunt going? It'll take every trick in the book to lift those monsters out of the water, but you know the book backwards, right? I got it, don't worry. Wow, you did it! I knew I could count on you. And the Chocobo Hunters saw everything, did they? The lure you chose, how you set your line, the flick of the wrist that set the hook? Excellent. Now that they've seen how it's done, you can leave the rest to us. We'll have the Wylam back to its good old self in no time. One good turn deserves another, but I've exhausted my supply of fascinating fishing stories. How about you, Stenny Boy? Any exciting tales of angling and adventure to tell our good friend Satora? I have got a story for ya. Long ago, when me granddad's granddad was but a boy, he met with his traveling trader who'd come over from the Far East to flog his wares. Among this merchant's stock was a bucket of wriggling red worms that seemed to glow with heat. Naturally, the boy asked him what they were all about. "Them's magma worms, my son," the merchant said, or some such Far Eastern patter as makes no difference. "Back where I come from, the fisher folk use them as bait. Hook them to a steel line and drop them in a volcano, and you'll pull up the fish like you've never seen." Of course, as he said, it's a dangerous game fishing in a pool of molten rock. One false moon and you're coming up crispy. Still, there's many back in the East who risk life and limb to make it their business. We call them the famous hellfishers. Or so my great-great-granddad was told. What a story, Stan! Could there really be fish that live in lava? If there are, I want to catch one. It sounds like we need some of those magma worms, though, and I can't say I've ever heard of them. Maybe Anselm would have an idea where to get hold of them. He's traveled all over the world, right? Mayhap indeed. Let's go speak to Anselm about this potential hell fishing. No, not you. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to the Aetherites. Take me up to the Forgotten Night and let's go speak with Anselm. Alright, hello there, Anselm. What can you tell me about hell fishing? Welcome back, Satora. Judging from that satisfied smile on your face, I'd say you managed to solve Reina's little problem. I knew you could do it. You have something to ask of me? By all means, fire away. Yeah, I was wondering about magma worms. Red glowing worms? You're not going to believe this, but I've got a few of those magma worms of yours right here in my pocket. A pair of adventurers were in here earlier, a botanist and a miner selling their diggings. I bought a few wrigglers off of them that fit that description. I thought they might make decent fishing bait, but it seems they're not cut out for the cold. As soon as they hit the water, they turn hard as a rock. Perhaps they'd fare better in the heat. Here, consider them your reward for taking care of that business with Reina for me. If you're thinking of trying your hand at this hell fishing game, Dravania's your best bet. There's a string of volcanoes in the Forelands up where the dragons dwell. Just promise me you won't go getting yourself killed, alright? I will promise that. Can't exactly fish if I'm dead. We got magma worms and hell fishing. We can now fish in lava. So let's go immediately try that out. Off to the Forelands. Alright, up here in the Forelands region known as Morn, inside the volcano, we've got plenty of lava around we can fish in. So let's see, where do we want to go fishing? Let's just try right over here, I suppose. As good a place as any. Alright, let's equip some magma worms and see what we fish up. Alright, our first bite, 2 exclamation marks, a big pull is going to give us a lava crab. Alright, what else can we find here at Morn? No restriction, special conditions, so we probably want to have snagging on. Okay, we can catch everything except for this one. Awesome. Then let's go fishing. Our next fish is the Cindersmith, which requires snagging in order to catch. Which leaves us with 3 more, I believe? Yep, 3 more fish to go. Next new fish is the granite crab, and this one's going to be important because we actually need to mooch it in order to catch the last 2 fish here. So, wish me luck. Caught ourselves an oven catfish, leaving us just 1 more fish to go. There we go, caught our last fish for this one, the Comatois. Alright, we've got another fishing hole here. Okay, good. For a moment I was like, did we just lose all of our Angler's Arts and lose our Thaliax favor? But no, I just forgot how Fisher works. Alright, for our next fishing hole is also going to be here in the Dravanian Forelands, and it's going to be a bit of a trek. So I'm going to show you the way, because it technically takes us somewhere we haven't been before. If I remember the path correctly, and I don't, we need to go a little bit further into Morn. But instead of heading towards the Churning Mists, we're going to take a right here. There's like 2, maybe 3 paths to get to this place we're going to. Alright, we're going to head this way. Map should uncover a little bit shortly. Okay, so we want to make our way over to here. So I think that is... cliff. We may need to go around this way. Okay, there we go. So we want to head... we're going to head underneath this mountain path, and hopefully that'll lead us to this exit. Then from there, it's a short hike to where we're trying to get to. Does the path really not go here? That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. In which case I probably do need to get down to there, but that's up above. Ah, in which case, okay. Well, this is going to be a bit more of a convoluted path than I had hoped. Okay, then I guess from Onyx Shrine, we're going to be climbing up to the very top. I'd hoped we'd be able to get there through Morn, but nope, I guess not. I guess this also makes sense. This probably makes more sense than the path I was trying to take. But the map did kind of imply that you'd be able to take that route. Not my fault the map covers itself with upper and lower paths. Okay, here at the top of Onyx Shrine, we head out onto the mountaintop, well, mountain cliff face. We'll climb up this way, and then this path goes into Morn, then back out of Morn over here. Surely that is the intended path. If this doesn't work, then I'm pretty sure the only way to get up to where we're trying to get to is with flight, and that's annoying. Okay, we're back in Morn. Technically. I guess this area is sealed off from the rest of Morn, so we don't get pretty lava in here. Okay, now we are almost there. We're good. We should be good for now. And we are now well above the Wylam River. We can see down there the 100 Throws, the Wylam River. And just up ahead, it appears to be the remains of an ancient destroyed Colosseum. Or something like that, at least. Alright, well, now that we are here at the Iron Feast, let's get fishing! Let's do stonefly nymphs. And see what we can catch all the way up here. Alright, first fish is blue claw shrimp. Of course it is. Let's mooch that out and take a look at the fishing log here. No restrictions, time restrictions, time restrictions. Okay, we can catch one fish here then. And we have the papyrapira and the blue claw shrimp. Oh? Looks like we are not catching this one, maybe? Or we are? I guess we are. We're catching ourselves a Kaiman, a collectible. A collectible used for ethereal reduction. Alright, you know what? Let's be introduced to the second type of collectibles at last then. The item you just obtained is a perfect candidate for ethereal reduction. Reducing an item breaks it down into its base ethereal component, or simply put, renders it into another item. Once an item is reduced, it is lost forever. However, depending on the original item's collectability, the number of resulting items may increase. We'll worry about this a lot more in the post-game crafting, but it is important to do ethereal reduction for a lot of post-game crafting. It gets you special crafting materials that we'll be very much in need of. Alright, caught the one new fish we were going for here, the dragon head. I double checked, it really likes the purse web spiders. It does not bite onto stonefly nymphs. Alright, that is all the fish we can catch here that aren't under any sort of restrictions, so let's go ahead and take our loot and get out of here. On to the Churning Mists. Alright, up here in the Churning Mists by Mogholm, we're going to be heading out east to go fishing at El Tom. That'll be our first location to fish at up here. So let's just get hiking on over there until we find a good spot we can start fishing at. I've got my red balloons equipped, and hopefully that'll be a good bait because I don't really have any other cloud fishing bait at the moment. Let's see, are you gonna let me fish here? Nope. Not gonna let me anywhere close to that edge, unfortunately. How about over here? You're gonna be very stubborn about this, aren't you, game? Okay, where will you let me fish at? Maybe over here will do. No. Okay, what are the actual coordinates for this? 3630 is what I'm seeing. So further north? No. Surely not here. I thought we were going cloud fishing. Okay, let's see. What baits are gonna work for this? Yep, this is the right one. I could have sworn we were going cloud fishing, but I suppose not. Alright, what are we catching here at Ailtome then? Caught ourselves a cloudfish. Nothing new. Alright, what do we have on here? Cloudfish, Lamp Marimo we already have. Time restrictions, no restrictions, and endgame restrictions. Okay, we'll go for that one then. What fish is that? Looks like, if I'm correct about what it is a big pole that likes purseweb spiders, brute leeches, which we don't have yet. Okay, let's do purseweb spider. I am running low on those. Okay, looks like we caught it. Just need to reel it in and... we got ourselves a collectible Noontide Oscar. Alright, next fishing hole. Where are we going next? Alright, the next fishing hole is going to take us north out of Mogholm up towards the Landlord Colony. And I believe we're going to be fishing right about there or up here. We'll see when we actually get closer. We're going to actually be doing cloud fishing this time, I promise. So we'll be able to use those red balloons and save my purseweb spiders that I'm getting so dreadfully low on. I checked, there are a few fishing holes in this region that we can't actually reach yet because we don't have flight in the area, which is extremely unfortunate. We'll get our opportunity eventually, but for now, what will we catch here at the Landlord Colony? Alright, we got a big bite. Presumably everything here will be able to be caught with red balloons. We got ourselves a Cloud Rider. Let me mark that off my list. And let's see what else we can catch here at Landlord Colony. We got a snagging fish. Looks like we got 5 fish to catch here, so let's get working on that. Caught ourselves a gloaming coral, which is our snagging fish for this area. So I can turn snagging back off. Caught ourselves a sky fairy, which is particularly good because it is also used to mooch several other fish around here, including the Cloud Rider we caught earlier, though we got lucky and caught it with a red balloon directly. Next fish, I can already tell you exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a blue Medusa. Or potentially a dragonstill, I suppose. It was a blue Medusa. Okay, so we should have 2 fish left. And both can be caught by mooching sky fairies, or using giant crane flies, which I don't believe we have access to yet. One is going to be a big bite and one's going to be a small bite. Alright, wish me luck with that. Alright, the big fish we can catch off of the... what were we mooching? Sky Fairy, off of the Sky Fairy is the Letter Puffer, leaving just 1 fish left for this area. Oh, there we go, finally. I was 5 seconds away from going back to Ishgard or Mardona to buy a whole bunch of script bait because, well, you can mooch the Sky Fairy for this one. Every mooch is only about a 12.8% chance of catching a Dragon Soul, while just using a giant crane fly directly is a 39.6% chance of catching a Dragon Soul, so honestly would have been more efficient to go back and grab that script bait, but oh well. And the textures continue to be absolutely funky. Love it. Okay, next fishing hole. Next up, we are coming here south of Asa and west of Mogholm, because I am hoping that it will let us dip our line into the Cloud Sea here to go fishing at hell. I did not intend to fall down here. So I'm trying to fish at a fishing hole called Somal Summit, but it's increasingly looking like we can only access this fishing hole with flight so we can get out to one of those floating islands out there. That's unfortunate. In that case, we only have one fishing hole left for today. Genuinely, you would think Somal Summit would be able to fish at from Mogholm or something, but I tried that earlier and it just did not work. Alright, our last fishing hole is going to take us on quite the trek. So we are going to be heading north from Zenith, heading out this way into new unexplored territory. Unexplored territory that the main story doesn't really take us to for a long time. If I recall correctly anyways. I don't think we have to go out this way until like patch 3.3 or something. So not for a long time. Alright, so we are heading out this way. We're going to end up above Asa. We could see this area from Asa, but we couldn't get up there. And we're going to want to go up and take this bridge right here. This is going to be a very, very long, slightly convoluted path, but we're trying to get up to this location up here, Tharl Umkash. And that will be our last fishing hole for today. And thankfully, as a fisher, we are perfectly sneaky, and the enemies are just going to ignore us. Alright, we made it to the rookery. Next, I believe there's a couple ways we could go. Let me double check the map to be safe. I think we can try going north, but I think that's going to lead to a dead end. I'm pretty sure we want to go west. Yeah, that's a dead end. Okay, we need to take the very long route then. Now, how do I get back up there? Oh, just by climbing the wall. Fair enough. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Okay, let's try this the proper way this... Am I stuck? Here we go. Please? 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 Uh-oh. There we go. I'm having so much trouble getting out of this pit. Okay, so we need to take the long path, which means we're going to go west, all the way up and around, and that should get us to Tharl Umkash. And then we'll be able to catch the last of the fish for this area. And yes, the long way around. It is not going to make this trek easy for us. Though I am surprised just how much of the area is accessible even on foot without being able to fly. Alright. Almost to the part where it connects above the rookery. Then we should be able to just head straight north to Thoralumkash. Oh, and one of these special fates. It doesn't look too special yet, but when we get to it, you'll understand. Okay, there we go. Thoralumkash, dead ahead. We got little baby dragonettes here. Now, how do I access the fishing hole? That is the next question. This place is really run down. What the heck is with all these crystals? They look... Honestly, not even sure what element this is supposed to be. It's closest to lightning, but it's, not really got any of the vitality of lightning. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Maybe just try from a different angle. There we go. Nope. Ah, there we go. This is where we need to be. Now, let's finally go fishing at Thoralumkash. And let's see what fish are available for us here. Caught ourselves a sky fairy that we can immediately mooch. And let's see. Ooh, lots of fish here. 1, 2, 3. 3 fish here that I am feeling comfortable with trying to catch. Excuse you, it got away. Okay, let's take a look at my list. So, Cloud Rider we already have. What other fish? Responds well to... Ooh, can mooch from the Sky Fairy or catch with Red Balloon or Giant Cranefly. Next one on the list. Can catch with Red Balloon or mooch from the fish I just mentioned. Oh, but that's weather restricted. Let's see, what isn't weather restricted? Here we go. Here's one that responds well to the Giant Cranefly or mooching the first fish I mentioned. Another one that responds well to mooching or Giant Cranefly. I feel like I should go back and grab a Giant Cranefly or 500. Okay, so yeah, one fish we can catch from a Sky Fairy or a Red Balloon, and then the other 2 we catch from that first fish. So lots of double mooching here. Alright, I'll be back when I catch any of them. Finally caught the first one, the rudder fish. Now we can mooch that and see what we get. Alright, and from the rudder fish we are going to catch... a cobra fish. Awesome. Alright, how are we doing on this? Missing just one, and it's also caught from mooching a rudder fish. So, let's get going. Alright, and there is definitely the other fish we're looking for. Very, very big fish. A huge fish, in fact, that makes us stand up to catch it. We got the Storm Chaser. Catch that off a rudder fish. Alright, and that is all of our fishing for today. Got a lot of material we can extract, and made some good progress on our fishing log. Alright then, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, what are we doing next? I want to say it's more main story. Yeah, it sure is more main story. I will see everyone next time for that.